page 305. Do not be concerned with time, and fear not the instant of holiness that will remove all fear. For the instant of peace is eternal, because it is without fear. It will come, being the lesson that God gives you, through the teacher which he has appointed to translate time into eternity. Blessed is God's teachers, whose joy is it to teach that God's Holy Son himself is pure holiness. His joy is not constrained in time. His teaching is for you, because his joy is your joy. Through him you stand before God's altar, where he gently translates hell into heaven. For it is only in heaven that God would have you be. How long can it take to be where God would have you be? For you are where you have forever been, and will be forever. All that you have forever. The blessed instant reaches out and encompasses all of time. As God extends himself to encompass you, you who have spent days, hours, and even years in chaining your brothers to your ego in an attempt to support it and to uphold it in its weakness, do not perceive the source of strength. In this holy instant, you will be unchained from all of your brothers, and will be refused to be supported in their weakness as your own. You do not realize how much that you have misused your brothers by sending them as sources of ego support. As a result, they witness to the ego in your perception and seem to provide reason for not letting it go. Yet they are far stronger and much more compelling witnesses for the Holy Spirit, and they support his strength. It is therefore your choice whether they support the ego or the Holy Spirit in you, and you will recognize which choice you have been given by their reactions. A son of God who has been released through the Holy Spirit in a brother is always recognized. He will never be denied. If you remain uncertain, it is only because you have not given complete release. And because this is of you, you have not given a single instant completely to the Holy Spirit. For when you have, you will be sure that you have. For you will be sure, because the witness to him will speak so clearly of him that you will hear him understand. You will doubt until you hear one witness whom you have wholly released through the Holy Spirit, and then you will doubt it no more. The holy instant has not yet happened to you, yet it will. And you will recognize it with a perfect certainty. No gift of God is recognized in any other way. You can practice the mechanics of the holy instant, and you will learn much by doing so. Yet its shining and its glittering brilliance, which literally blinds you to its world by its own vision, which you cannot supply. And yet here it is, all in this instant, complete, accomplished, and given wholly. Start now to practice your little part in separating out the holy instant. You will receive very specific instructions as you go along to separate out this single second and to experience it as timelessness? Is it to begin to experience yourself as not separate? Fear not what you will not be given help in this. Teacher and his lesson will support your strength. It is only your weakness that will have you depart from this practice. For it is in this practice that the power of God will be found in you. Use it but for an instant, and you will never deny it again. Who can deny the presence of what the universe would bestow to it? An appreciation, and with gladness. Before the recognition of the universe that witnesses to it, your doubts must first disappear. Littleness versus magnitude. Be not content with littleness, but be sure that you understand what littleness is, and why you could never be content with it. Littleness is the offering you give yourself. You offer this in place of magnitude, and then you accept it. Everything in this world is little, because this is a world made out of your own littleness, in the strange belief that littleness can content you. When you strive for anything in this world, in the belief that it would bring you peace, you are only belittling yourself and blinding yourself to its glory. Littleness and glory are the choices open to your striving and your vigilance. You will always choose one at the expense of another. Yet what you do not realize each time you choose is that your choice is your evaluation of yourself. Choose littleness, and you will never have peace, for you have judged yourself unworthy of it, and whatever you offer as a substitute is much too poor a gift to ever satisfy you. It is essential that you accept the fact, and would accept it gladly, that there is no form of littleness that can ever content you. You are free to try as many as you wish, but all you will be doing is to delay your homecoming, for you will be content only in magnitude, which is your home. There is a deep responsibility you owe yourself, and one that you must learn to remember all the time. The lesson may seem hard at first, but you will learn to love it when you realize that it is true, and it is but a tribute to your own power. You who have sought to find littleness, remember this: every decision you make stems from what you think that you are, and represents the value that you would put upon yourself. Believe the little can content you, and therefore limit yourself, and you will not be satisfied. For your function is not little, and it is only by finding your function, by fulfilling it, that you can escape from littleness. There is no doubt about what your function is, for the Holy Spirit knows what it is. There is no doubt about its magnitude, for it would reach you through Him from magnitude. You do not have to strive for it, because you have it. All of your striving must be directed against littleness, for it does not require vigilance to protect your magnitude in this world. To hold your magnitude in perfect awareness in a world of littleness is a task. a task the little could never understand. Yet it will be asked of you in tribute to your magnitude, and never of your littleness. Nor is it asked of you alone. The power of God will support every effort that you make on behalf of His dear Son. Search for the little, and you would deny yourself His power. God is not willing that His Son be content with less than everything, for He is not content without His Son, and His Son cannot be content with less than what His Father has given Him. I asked you earlier, would you be hostage to the ego or host to God? Let this question be asked to you by the Holy Spirit every time that you make a decision. Would you be hostage to the ego or a host to God? For every decision you make does answer this, and it either invites sorrow or joy accordingly. When God gave Himself to you in your very creation, He established you as a host for Him forever, and He has never left you, and you have never left Him. All of your attempts to deny His magnitude and make His Son a hostage to the ego cannot make little whom God has joined with. Every decision that you make is for heaven or for hell, and will bring you the awareness of what you have only decided for. The Holy Spirit can hold your magnitude clean, clear, by all of the littleness, clearly and in perfect safety in your mind, untouched by every little gift of the world that its littleness could offer you. But for this, you cannot side against Him, and that is what He would will for you. Decide for God through Him. For littleness and the belief that you can be contented with littleness are decisions that you make about yourself. The power and glory that lie in you is from God, and are for all who, like you, perceive themselves as little, and believe that littleness can be blown up into a sense of magnitude that can content them. Neither give littleness nor accept it. All honor is due to the host of God. Your littleness deceives you, for your magnitude is of Him who dwells in you, and in whom you dwell. Touch no one, then, with littleness, in the name of Christ, eternal host unto His Father. In this season, Christmas, which celebrates the birth of holiness into this world, join with me who decided for holiness for you. It is our task together to restore the awareness of magnitude to the host whom God has appointed for Himself. It is beyond all of your littleness to give the gift of God, but not beyond you, for God would give Himself through you. He reaches from you to everyone and beyond everyone to His Son's creations, but without leaving you far beyond your little world, but still in you. He extends forever, yet He brings all of His extensions to you as a host to Him. Is it a sacrifice to leave littleness behind and wander not in vain? Is it not sacrifice to wake to glory? But is it sacrifice to accept anything less than glory? Learn that you must be worthy of the Prince of Peace, born in your honor of him, whose host you are. You know not what love really means, because you have not sought to purchase it with little gifts, thus valuing it too little to be truly understood in its magnitude. Love is not little, and love dwells not in you, and love dwells in you, for you are always host to him. Before the greatness that lives in you, your poor appreciation of yourself, and all the little offerings that you give sip to nothingness. Holy child of God, will you learn that only holiness can content you and can give you peace? Remember, you learn not for yourself alone, no more than I did. It is because I learned for you that you can learn from me. I would teach you but what is yours, so that together we can replace the shabby littleness that would bind the host of God to guilt, thereby weakening them and taking away their glad awareness of the glory that is in him. My birth in you is your awakening to grandeur. Welcome me, not into a manger, but into the altar of holiness, where holiness abides in perfect peace. My kingdom is not of this world, because it is in you, and you are your Father. Let us join in honoring you, who must remain forever beyond littleness. Decide with me, who has decided to abide with you. I will always as my Father wills, knowing that his will is constant and at peace forever with myself. You will be content with nothing but his will. Accept no less, remembering that everything I learn is yours. What my Father loves, I love as he does, and I can do no more than to accept it for what it is not than he can, and no more can you. When you have learned to accept what you truly are, then you will make no more gifts to offer to yourself, for you will know that you are already complete, in need of nothing, and unable to accept anything for yourself. But you will also gladly give, being received. The host of God need not seek anything to find. If you are wholly willing to leave salvation to the plan of God, and unwilling to attempt to grasp peace for yourself, salvation will be given to you. Yet think not that you can substitute your plan for his. Rather, join with me in his, for this may be the release of all that you would be bound to, proclaiming together that the Son of God is a host in him. Thus will no one forget that what you would remember, and thus you will remember it. Call forth in everyone only the remembrance of God, and of the heaven that is in him, and where you would have your brother be. There you will think you are. Hear not his appeal to hell and to littleness, but only his call for heaven and greatness. Forget not that his call is yours, and answer him with me. God's power is forever on the side of his host, for it protects only the peace which he dwells. Lay not holiness before his holy altar. Littleness before his holy altar. which rises above the very stars and reaches into heaven, because that is what was given it